Reginald VelJohnson as Carl Winslow. In the memories of the 1990s generation, Carl Winslow stands as an enduring symbol of warmth and safety. Through Reginald VelJohnson's performance, the character became America's beloved TV father, a steady presence whose gentle smile and reassuring embrace brought comfort to millions of homes.
Well, you look pretty good.
Thank you. You look pretty good yourself too, handsome.
His kind eyes and resonant voice did more than offer a sense of protection. They became a sacred fragment of a carefree childhood, a feeling of home that so many of us still long to return to. Yet in stark contrast to the model father he portrayed on screen, Reginald's real life began with a deeply painful fracture. Traveling back to the 1960s in Queens, New York, among aging red-brick buildings shrouded in winter haze, young Reginald learned to grow up without a father's protective hand. The tragedy did not come through death, but through abandonment. His father left the family to pursue another calling, leaving behind a young wife and a small child in poverty. The image of a chubby little boy standing by the window, watching his father disappear into a crowd of strangers, became an open wound that quietly bled for more than half a century. All of his love was poured into his mother, his only anchor in a turbulent life. But just as success finally arrived in the late 1980s, fate struck again, taking her away. In the warm, nostalgic glow of small kitchens lit by yellow lamps of that era, Reginald endured the devastating pain of losing his mother. He stood at the height of fame, yet on windy New York nights, he felt smaller and more alone than ever, because the one person who truly understood his pain was gone forever. Despite being a star loved by millions, Reginald's private life unfolded in quiet, minor keys. Throughout the 1990s, even as his career flourished, he opened his heart to a few relationships, hoping to build a real home like the Winslow family he portrayed on screen. Each one faded away in silence, leaving him to face the years alone. The nation's dad, it turned out, never had a wife or children of his own. As the 2020s arrived, time launched its unforgiving assault on the aging artist's body. Audiences could not help but ache at the sight of Reginald growing frail, his once bright eyes dulled by complications from diabetes and chronic high blood pressure. In the quiet of Oceanside, where old cast photos have faded with time, he has battled declining health in profound solitude. Joint pain from long-ago onset injuries now makes every step heavier, mirroring the weight of neglect the world often places on aging icons. Now, in his later years, Reginald VelJohnson lives quietly among the golden memories of a bygone era. Though his personal life is filled with absence and loss, he has never regretted giving his entire life to his craft. He may not have had a family of his own, but he has millions of children around the world, people who still speak the name Carl Winslow with deep gratitude and enduring affection. Rosetta LeNoire as Estelle Winslow. In the beloved family series Family Matters, Rosetta LeNoire fully embodied the role of Estelle Winslow, the wise and gentle grandmother whose warm smile and thoughtful advice made her the emotional anchor of the Winslow household. Well into her 80s, she brought to the screen a presence that was both dignified and deeply familiar, making audiences feel as though they were seeing a cherished relative from their own home each time she appeared.
Steve, you want to go to Vegas?
Estelle!
Well, you may get lucky.
Yet behind that calm grace and kindness lay a life that began with profound scars of fate. Born in the 1910s, Rosetta suffered a devastating loss early in life when her mother died due to the inadequacies of medical care for Black Americans. Not long afterward, her father also passed away, leaving her an orphan in a world defined by deep injustice. Coming of age during the height of the Jim Crow era, she faced a brutal reality in which her passion for the arts was crushed by racially segregated laws. For decades, she was dismissed, barred from major Broadway stages, and denied the opportunities she deserved solely because of the color of her skin.
Ooh, it feels so good.
Believe me, the pleasure is all mine.
Her youth unfolded amid the turbulence of the civil rights struggle, where her talent was trapped in the shadows of prejudice and her artist spirit was repeatedly fractured by cruel indignities. The relentless conflict between her desire to give and the unforgiving passage of time ultimately led Rosetta into a final chapter marked by quiet suffering. The true tragedy emerged after she stepped away from the screen in 1998. The same year Family Matters came to an end, leaving audiences with lasting affection and regret. Her health declined rapidly under the weight of age and the toll of a lifetime devoted to her craft. Her final years were spent confined to a bed at the Amityville nursing home, where she faced chronic illness and nightly pain in isolation. This was the most heartbreaking period of all, as the glow of her 1990s success faded, replaced by the haunting stillness of white walls and long, silent days. In that cold space, the beloved television grandmother of millions was left alone with fragmented memories of a vanished era, quietly counting time as the world outside moved on into a new millennium. Rosetta LeNoire passed away on March 17, 2002, at the age of 90. She died in complete quiet at the Amityville nursing home, bringing to a close a long and arduous journey that spanned 2 turbulent centuries of American history. Though her final years were overshadowed by illness and solitude, the legacy she left behind endures, a lasting testament to resilience, dignity, and unwavering humanity. Looking back at the painful past of Rosetta LeNoire, one unsettling truth stands out. In the brutal year of 1918, as the deadliest influenza pandemic in human history swept across the world, her mother passed away in helpless circumstances. But the question remains, did she die simply because medicine was still limited at the time? Or was her death the tragic result of a deeply segregated healthcare system, where Black lives were systematically undervalued? Michelle Thomas as Myra Monkhouse. In the world of Family Matters, Michelle Thomas ignited the screen as Myra Monkhouse, a young woman defined by passionate love, a radiant smile, and an energy that seemed endless. With her porcelain doll beauty and captivating performance, Myra was more than Steve Urkel's on-screen love interest. She became part of the show's very heartbeat, delivering warmth and laughter to millions of viewers. Yet at the height of her rising career, a devastating shadow quietly descended, turning Michelle's life into a courageous fight for survival.
Oh, they're beautiful. I just love ranunculus. And look at these lovely Catenaccia cerulean.
What?
In 1997, at just 29 years old, the brightest moment of her youth, she was handed a death sentence in the form of a rare and highly aggressive stomach cancer. Standing at the edge of fate, Michelle made a decision that stunned everyone around her. She chose to keep her illness secret, suppressing unbearable pain so she could continue working under the studio lights. For months, behind every cheerful smile and love-struck glance of Myra on screen, Michelle Thomas was waging a private war against a ruthless disease. She drained the last sparks of her strength to honor the role, turning the set into a sanctuary where she battled death itself so the audience could keep smiling.
Steve Urkel, the man I love.
That extraordinary resolve carried Michelle into a final chapter marked by profound suffering. The true tragedy unfolded as her young body was ravaged by the aftermath of 2 major surgeries performed in a desperate attempt to save her life. Her final years were stripped of applause and spotlight, replaced by the chilling silence of hospital rooms. Her health declined rapidly. From a blooming rose, she became frail and pale under the crushing weight of illness and chemotherapy.
Stephen, if I'm gonna bear your children and have all my best body parts drop 4 inches...
Chronic pain tormented her night after night, making each breath an act of endurance. In that dark, confined space, the 30-year-old actress faced solitude and physical decline, quietly counting down time with heartbreaking awareness of dreams left unfinished. Michelle Thomas passed away on December 22, 1998, just 3 days before Christmas. She died at Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital, surrounded by loved ones, bringing to an end a life that was brief yet radiant with courage and grace. Though her final days were overshadowed by pain and exhaustion, the legacy she left behind endures as a symbol of the indomitable artist's spirit. Myra Monkhouse may have stopped at age 30, but Michelle Thomas's luminous smile and unbreakable heart live on, like a flower that, even after falling, releases its most beautiful fragrance into the world. Jaleel White as Steve Urkel. In the legendary sitcom Family Matters, Jaleel White breathed life into Steve Urkel, the teenage boy with sky-high suspenders, oversized glasses, and a laugh so unmistakable it instantly lifted the room.
Where's Laura?
She's gone for the day.
Oh, I'll wait.
At the height of his youth, he created a character both awkward and sincere, becoming the friend of every household for millions of viewers throughout the 1990s. The role did more than showcase his natural talent. It became a bridge of joy for an entire generation, turning the name Steve Urkel into an inseparable part of childhood memory. Yet behind those contagious laughs lay a childhood stolen the moment fame arrived. In the early 1990s, while his peers ran freely beneath the sun, Jaleel was turned into a financial engine under immense pressure from family needs and studio demands. To preserve the success of an entire production machine, he was forced to suppress his natural growth, barred from physical training, and required to maintain an artificial voice for 9 relentless years.
Cholesterol to clog up your arteries like a drain full of greasy hair.
The loss of his right to simply grow up, combined with quiet isolation from older co-stars on set, left deep, bleeding scratches on the young boy's spirit, trapping him inside the suffocating weight of a fame that was never truly his. The tension between reality and role eventually led Jaleel into chapters filled with loss and doubt. The true breaking point came in late 1998, just as the series ended, when his closest confidant, Michelle Thomas, passed away from aggressive stomach cancer. Her death plunged him into prolonged despair, forcing him to confront a painful truth. Even the brightest spotlight cannot hold on to the soul that understands you most. In the 2010s, tragedy resurfaced as a failed marriage spiraled into bitter domestic abuse allegations, tearing apart the decent public image he had struggled to preserve. On screen, he symbolized innocent optimism. Off-screen, Jaleel stood alone against public rejection and the quiet agony of being forgotten. Today, in his 40s, Jaleel White lives quietly, focusing on preserving his health after years of physical exhaustion caused by overwork and forced strain in childhood. While he occasionally appears in small voice-acting projects around Los Angeles, most of his time is devoted to healing psychological wounds and battling chronic fatigue. Still, the legacy he left behind remains unshaken. Through Family Matters, Jaleel White is forever etched into collective memory, a clumsy, endearing figure audiences will always hold close, even as his own life demanded the sacrifice of childhood and personal happiness to bring laughter to an entire era. Darius McCrary trong by Eddie Winslow. In the radiant world of Family Matters, Darius McCrary brought Eddie Winslow to life, the confident, charming eldest son with a sunlit smile and effortless swagger, a source of pride for the entire Winslow family. At the height of his youth, he embodied a dynamic young man, blending teenage rebellion with genuine warmth, and captured the hearts of countless viewers in the 1990s. The role not only elevated Darius to stardom, but also turned him into a symbol of vitality and promise for fans of family television. Those were golden years, when each appearance carried a quiet belief in kindness, hope, and a future full of possibility. Yet behind the polished image of a television heartthrob lay a deeply fractured private reality. The true rupture came in 2015, when the public was shaken by serious allegations of domestic violence from his third wife, exposing a disturbing shadow behind the familiar smile. According to the accusations, moments of uncontrolled rage allegedly led to violent outbursts, with household objects destroyed and the home turned into a place of fear. The situation grew even darker with claims that physical abuse occurred and that an object was thrown during an incident involving his infant daughter, Zoe. The upright image of Eddie Winslow collapsed entirely, replaced by restraining orders and tense legal proceedings that extended into 2017. Stripped of parental rights and separated from his child under intense public judgment, Darius was left emotionally shattered, losing not only a family, but also the moral image the audience once cherished, and sinking into long nights of shame and self-reproach. The brutal clash between fame and reality drove Darius into a downward spiral of hardship and humiliation. The fall reached its lowest point in late 2020, when leaked private videos involving transgender model Sydney Starr ignited a viral storm. What followed was not merely scandal, but a ruthless online assault on personal dignity. Still images were circulated as mocking memes, cruelly binding his most intimate moments to the once sacred name of Eddie Winslow. In the aftermath, producers distanced themselves, fearing his presence would tarnish projects built on family-friendly values. His career stalled completely. Darius retreated from public view, burdened by mounting debt, professional isolation, and repeated public ridicule, becoming an outcast in Hollywood, where being forgotten can feel more merciless than failure itself. Today, in middle age, Darius McCrary lives quietly in the shadow of regret, trying to gather what remains of his life after years of personal storms. Though his physical health has noticeably declined and emotional wounds from past controversies remain unhealed, he continues to seek small opportunities in independent projects, simply to make a living. And yet, the legacy of Eddie Winslow endures.
Dad, I'm 19 years old now. I'm in college now anyway. And besides, last night was the first time I got drunk in my entire life.
To fans of Family Matters, Darius will always be remembered as the vibrant older brother of a golden era, a youthful presence audiences still hold dear, even as his real life unfolded like a sorrowful melody marked by its darkest, most unforgiving notes. Jaimee Foxworth as Judy Winslow. In the classic family series Family Matters, Jaimee Foxworth once appeared as a promising and beloved piece of the puzzle in the role of Judy Winslow, the youngest daughter, sweet and innocent, with bright eyes and a pure, childlike smile. Judy arrived like a gentle ray of sunshine, bringing warmth and balance to the Winslow household amid everyday comic chaos. In the early 1990s, audiences embraced her completely, believing Judy would grow up protected by family love, blossom into a talented young woman, and continue her radiant journey beneath the studio lights.
Mom, I hate tarts.
We all do, honey.
Each time Judy skipped through the Winslow kitchen, viewers saw a reflection of innocence itself and the fragile hopes of childhood untouched by the world. Yet behind that glowing image lay a harsh reality shaped by the cruelty of the entertainment industry. In 1993, television history witnessed what later became known as the upstairs incident. Judy Winslow went upstairs and never came back. The true tragedy struck when Jaimee, once a sought-after child star, was abruptly erased from the script without explanation. Throughout the mid-1990s, as Hollywood rapidly evolved, Jaimee found herself trapped in professional limbo. She carried scripts from studio to studio in desperation, only to be met with cold refusals. Judy's shadow is too large. We don't need a forgotten child actor from an outdated family show. The rejection cut even deeper as her family plunged into severe financial crisis. On freezing California nights, while other stars attended glamorous parties, Jaimee sat with her mother in a darkened home with the electricity shut off, quietly signing notices of mounting debt. Her artistic pride was crushed as she sold her most treasured memorabilia just to afford daily meals, abandoned by an industry already chasing its next idols. The violent clash between survival and abandonment led Jaimee into her darkest chapter, one where she felt forced to trade dignity for survival. In 2000, as the world celebrated the arrival of a hopeful new millennium, Jaimee descended into despair. To prevent her family from becoming homeless, she made a heartbreaking decision, entering the adult film industry under the name Crave. This marked the most painful rupture of all, as the angelic image of Judy Winslow was mercilessly stripped away by the market's hunger. The humiliation and public scorn pushed her further into addiction, where alcohol and drugs became the only anesthetic against the reality that she had once symbolized purity and promise. In the dim corners of cheap nightclubs and the terrifying silence of drug-induced isolation, Jaimee endured both chemical destruction and relentless psychological trauma, quietly counting the years as the world outside slowly forgot her name. Though Jaimee Foxworth's journey is filled with bitter lows and falls that seemed impossible to recover from, her struggle to rise from the ashes remains a testament to the human will to survive. She paid an unforgiving price for fame that bloomed too early and faded too fast, losing her youth to rejection and judgment. While her legacy is now shadowed by painful chapters, the image of little Judy Winslow endures, a haunting reminder of the brutal cost of fame and of how a child's fragile spirit can be crushed beneath the merciless machinery of time, ambition, and human indifference. The Winslow family home still stands, but the friends we once knew are no longer the same after a lifetime of storms. They gave their lives to creating memories that can never be erased, even as their own journeys were marked by loss and quiet pain. Take a moment to send your wishes of health to those who remain, and a gentle farewell, a prayer for peace, to those who have passed on. This is our final tribute to the people who warmed our childhoods. And if these memories still matter to you, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep preserving them together.